boys and girls. It's Miss Acuña. I hope you're doing well. I have been missing you so much, and I know Senora Nájera has been missing you a lot too. And I have finally figured out how to do some cool things on my computer, and so I figured, hey, this is the perfect time to send my kids a read aloud. It's a story that I found on Epic. It's called Library Mouse. It's written by Daniel Kirk. And so if you have the Epic, go ahead and pause this video, find this book, Library Mouse, and read along with us. If you don't have Epic, well, then just sit back, relax, and enjoy this great story. The reason that I chose it was because 2 days ago when I spoke with Alonso Soto, hi Alonso, he told me that he has a pet mouse. And so hopefully we'll all get to see his pet mouse. And so here we go. Library Mouse by Daniel Kirk. Was it Sam Butler or Sam Reyes? Who knows? Sam was a library mouse. His home was in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books, and he thought that life was very good indeed. Look at that. He lives in the little wall there, and he's got his little cheese, and it looks like the top of an acorn is his bowl. Every day when the library was full of people walking up and down the aisles, studying, checking out books, and working on the computers, Sam was curled up in his little hole, sound asleep. Every night when the people went home and the room was dark and quiet, the library belonged to Sam. And every night, Sam read, and he read, and he read. Sam read picture books and chapter books. He read biographies and poetry, cookbooks and sports books, fairy tales and ghost stories, and mysteries by the dozen. Sam's mind was filled with facts and information and images of faraway places, and his imagination brimmed over with wonder and fantasy. One night, Sam decided that it was time he wrote a book of his own. Sam folded over some little squares of paper he took from the librarian's desk to make the pages. Then he found a pencil that had rolled underneath a shelf, and he began to write. Write what you know, Sam had read in a book about writing. So Sam wrote about being a mouse, because of course that's what he knows about. He drew the pictures for his book by posing in his little mirror and then sketching what he saw. And so you can see that he's dressed up as a pirate. Hey, his acorn bowl is now his hat. And I love his illustration here where he's the pirate and of course he's defending himself against a mean old cat. Sam worked very, very hard. And finally, his first book was done. He called it Squeak, A Mouse's Life. And he wrote on the cover, Words and Pictures by Sam Butler. Or Reyes. We don't know. He went to the autobiography section of the library, and he tucked his first book onto the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and waited. The next afternoon, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. What's this? Asked a girl whose teacher had sent her to the library to do a book report. I've never seen anything like this before, said the librarian, and she put Squeak, A Mouse's Life, on her desk. Later, she showed it to the other librarians. Sam decided to write another book. It was called The Lonely Cheese, and working on the book made him feel very hungry. It was a good thing that he always found so many crumbs to eat by the trash basket in the hallway. When he had finished the illustrations, Sam scurried to the picture book section and proudly placed his latest book on the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and waited. The next morning, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. What's this? Asked a little boy who was looking for a big book about trucks. It's another book by Sam, said the librarian. Just who is this Sam? She thought to herself, and put the lonely cheese on her desk. Later, she showed it to the children at story time, and it looks like they're enjoying it. Sam decided to write a chapter book. It was called The Mystery of Mouse Mansion, and it gave Sam goosebumps when he wrote down the scary parts. The full moon was shining down through the windows, there's the moon, of the darkened library when Sam crept over to the mystery section and sneakily placed his book on the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and waited. The next day, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What's this?" asked a teenager who was looking for a good creepy book to read before bed. "We've got to find out who this Sam is," said the librarian. "I'll leave a note on the bulletin board and tell him that I would like to meet our new author." She put The Mystery of Mouse Mansion on her desk, and later she showed it to the writing class that came in after school. And that night, Sam found the note, and this is what it said. "Dear Sam, all of us at the library have been enjoying your books immensely. We are all wondering who this mysterious Sam really is. Whoever you are, you certainly have a lot of talent. Not everyone has it in them to write even a single book, let alone 3. We think it would be fun to have a Meet the Author Day with you as our special guest. The children would love to hear you read your books and share some of your secrets for writing. Yours truly, Mrs. Forrester, Head Librarian." Ooh, so they want him to show up. They want to meet him. They want to know who this Sam is. Sam felt very nervous. He was happy that the children at the library liked his books. He was flattered that they wanted to meet him, but mice, as a rule, are very shy when it comes to meeting people. Sam could not understand why people thought that writing and making up stories was so hard. If only they would try, they might find out that writing was really lots of fun. Sam had an idea. He went to the librarian's desk and he got some more supplies. All night long he wrote and drew and snipped and folded and stapled his little rectangles of paper into mouse-sized books. I wonder what those books are going to be for. Meet the author. In the morning, when the librarian opened up the children's room, there was a sheet of paper taped to the door. "Meet the author today," it read. A little girl was the first to see Sam's display, all set up on the front table. "What is this?" she asked. There sat a tissue box with a pair of pencils taped to the side and a banner stretched across the top. On the banner was written, "Meet the author," with an arrow pointing down. Oh, wait, is he going to be inside of that box? I wonder why it's pointing downwards. Hey, there's a mirror in there. The girl bent over to look into the empty tissue box. "Oh," she said in surprise, for there at the bottom of the box lay Sam's little mirror. And in the mirror, the little girl saw her own face smiling up at her. "Me?" she said. "An author?" Next to the mirror was a stack of tiny blank books and a pile of pencils that Sam had sharpened with his little teeth. Oh my gosh, look at that. He doesn't have a sharpener, so he just bites into them to sharpen them. All that day, and for many days thereafter, people came to the little display to meet the author. Soon there was a whole shelf of books written and illustrated by people who had never written a book before, telling stories that had never been told. So look at all of those little boys and girls there. They're writing their own books using the papers that the mouse had stapled together, that Sam had stapled together. And so now they're displayed here on the library cases. How cool is that? Sam was a library mouse. His home was a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books. And all that night, Sam sat in his hole, thinking and thinking about the next book he would write. Would it be a mystery? An adventure book? A funny book? A true story? There were so many stories to tell. Aha, he thought. I'll just have to write one of each. Sam picked up his pencil and got to work. The end. So that's it, boys and girls. I'm going to try to read to you every day. I'll try to record myself Monday through Friday. So I hope you enjoyed this story, Library Mouse by Daniel Kirk, and I will see you soon. Have a good night. Brush your teeth.